make the right financial decisions, to make the right emotional decisions, and just decisions in general, the person that you listen to, or the audios or the books that you read, is all very important, because at the end of the day, the information that you have access to is what determines the actions that you take, and the actions that you take is what determines the results that you get. Okay, so you have to be very, very, very careful with who you listen to. A lot of people have opinions, but you can't just listen to anyone. Okay, if a person doesn't have what you want, I honestly don't listen to them. Okay, and I don't mean don't listen to them in a disrespectful manner. The way I look at it is, I looked at it as selective hearing. Okay, I'm gonna listen to what you're gonna say, but I'm gonna choose to accept and reject whatever it is that I feel like can be best for me. Okay, so if I feel like you said something that I can actually get value from, then I'm gonna accept that. If you said something that I believe isn't gonna bring me any kind of value, then I'm gonna reject that. Okay, so I want you all to understand that who you listen to is crucial. Okay, because look, I'll be honest with you guys. I love my parents. Okay, and I love a lot of people in my family, and teachers, and people I grew up with. But out of all of these people I grew up with, none of them lived the lifestyle that I want. Okay, you see, my mom and dad did all that they could with what they had and with what they knew. Okay, they made sure I had food on the table every night, a roof over my head, clothes on my back. I was happy every Thanksgiving. I was happy every Christmas. We lived good. In my eyes, I was rich. They made me feel like I had everything, and I did. But what I want you to understand, when I got older and I became aware of where we were actually living, and that there was actually more, because now I was aware of more, and my capacity for my thinking and my awareness had grown. I had noticed that, at the end of the day, we weren't really living the life of abundance and freedom. We didn't have financial freedom. We were living check to check. We would complain about the bills, and it was just a cycle every day, going to work every day from 9 to 5, get home, eat, watch some TV with the family, wake up and do it over and over and over again. Now, that's not the lifestyle that I dreamed for myself, and when you grow up in those households, your parents and your family and your friends have a massive influence over you. And a lot of the times they make the decisions for you on what they think is best for you. But remember, they can only do think about it like this. Is how I want you guys to think about it, so we can take it a step back. They can only help you as much as they know. Okay. So if all they know is how to make $50,000, $60,000 a year, then that's all that they can ever help you make. My mom can never teach me how to make $1 million, because she's never made $1 million. Okay. So the reason why I say that is that you can't listen to people that don't have what you want, and you got to do it respectfully and humbly. Okay. Do I listen to everything else my mom tells me? Absolutely. Okay. So I'm not here to tell you guys disrespect your parents and don't listen to anything that they have to say. No. When it comes to certain aspects of your life, especially when it comes to your future and your financial situation and the careers and the things that you need to be doing, I think that you have a better idea than your parents do. So what I want you to understand is that don't let the discouragement of your parents, don't let your significant other, okay, friends and family that you have in your life control what you do. Listen to only people that have what you want. You see, now I only listen to individuals that live a life of abundance, that make 7 figures, 8 figures, that travel the world, that give back to communities, that are living in that are living their literally their dream life, that are connected with God, that have a great relationship with God. These are the people that I listen to now. I listen to people of influence, people that are going to help me accomplish all the goals that I've been striving for the last few years. And that's so important. Make sure that you take very, very a lot of care of the people who you listen to. Okay. And remember, listening is listening to music. listening to, the audios that you listen to on Instagram. What are you really watching on Instagram? Are the videos you're watching on Instagram bringing you any value? Are the videos you're watching on YouTube bringing you any value? Is the music you're listening to bringing you any kind of value? You see, guys, when I made the decision to go all in with the basics, I completely changed everything. I stopped listening to music. I was an individual where, everywhere I went now, instead of listening to music, I would listen to, personal development audios. I would be listening to Jim Rohn, Bob Proctor, Les Brown, all day, every day. If I was ever on my way to an event, if I was ever in a car, you see how everybody played music? No, I would play personal development. I would fall asleep listening to personal development. I started to read books, okay, of successful people. I started to unfollow people on my social media that didn't bring any value and started to follow more entrepreneurs, more successful people, more millionaires, more everything, right? Because I wanted to change who I was listening to. I started going to more networking events where there were more successful individuals and entrepreneurs and all of those sorts, right? So I had to change the things that I really listen to in all aspects. Okay.
All right, guys, let's get this call started. Excited for today's call. First off, I want to say thank you so much for everybody who is making it a priority to be on this morning's call. My name is Nano. I am your host, and welcome to Mornings with Nano, YouTube and Instagram edition. Don't mind my dog in the back. She likes to chill and hang out with us while I run the call. But I'm super excited for each and every single one of you to jump on today's call. Great morning, grand rising. I hope everybody is feeling good, feeling blessed, feeling aligned, feeling on top of the world, and feeling as good as I am. Right now, I am literally feeling on top of the world, and I couldn't be in a better place mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially. All areas of my life are striving right now. I feel so good right now. I can't even explain to you guys how good I feel on this very morning of January 21st. And I want to make sure it says no sound on Instagram. Can you guys hear me? Somebody said no sound. Let me know if I have to start it all over. But after 21 days of the first, month of the year, I feel amazing. And I don't know about you guys, but these first 21 days have been incredible for me. Now, real quick, on a scale of 1 to 10, and I just want to see where we're all at. All right, what would you first 21 days of the year? All right, 21 days is a very important number. So what would you rate on a scale of 1 to 10 the first 21 days of the year in terms of personal performance? How have you done this year so far personally? Not your business, okay? Not your finances, you personally. How would you rate yourself, okay, in the first 21 days of the year? Okay, I just want to see some numbers. I think my Wi-Fi is good. Hopefully everything is good. Let me take off the Wi-Fi on Instagram just in case. I see some sevens, some fives. I see some 7.5s. I see some 6.5s. I see a 10. I see a 7. Okay, not gonna lie, 3 out of 10. We got to get that up, Gina. I see a lot of 7s. Okay, Mello, I see you 7. Okay, more 7s, 6s. Okay, we're for the most part, we're doing really good. For the most part, we're doing really, really good. And I appreciate that. And I'm around the same place. I would rate myself 7, 8 in that area as well. I've had a phenomenal, first 21 days of the year. I made it a priority to fast this year. I made it a priority to work on myself this year. And in terms of, if I was to look back out of the 21 days of the first year, I would say I worked on myself at least for sure 17, 18 out of those days. So I might have had maybe 2 or 3 days where, maybe I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I might have had a couple of slip ups, so on and so forth. But for the most part, I'm halfway done with the book that I was reading. I've meditated and worked on myself every single day. I've been in the gym 5-6 days a week, every single week. What else? I've been journaling for the most part, working on myself. I haven't missed church not one Sunday since the year started. I haven't missed one tithing since the year started. Like, everything just feels so good right now. It feels truly amazing in ways that I can't even describe to any of you guys right now. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and when you get on these vibrations, everything tends to work in your favor. And right now, everything is working in my favor. Everything I'm touching is turning to gold. Every miracle that I expect, I'm getting those miracles. I'm getting put in rooms and in situations and in circumstances where everything that I wrote down on my journal is coming to fruition, is coming to pass. And the situations in my life and the people that I'm meeting in my life is just telling me, Nano, you're on the right vibration. You're on the right vibration. And I just want to share that with all of you, because I want to let you guys know that when you get on the vibration that you got to get to, it's not about getting there. It's about keeping it now. It's like the saying that they say when it comes to money. It's not about the amount of money that you make. It's about the amount of money that you keep. Well, the same thing goes for your vibration, for the way that you feel. It's not about how good you can get yourself to feel, because you can get yourself to feel good one day, but can you keep yourself feeling good over a long period of time? And that's where I'm at right now. I'm on a high vibration, and I'm working on keeping this high vibration, but also increasing it as well, getting higher and higher and higher so I can vibrate at my highest level. And out of the first 21 days of the year, I rate myself a solid, 8. I would give myself an 8. And this is me being real. I give myself a solid 8 because honestly, I've worked so good on myself. And compared to how I was in 2023 and 2024, it is completely night and day. So I just wanted to share that with all of you. I've been doing a lot of work on me, reading the Bible, getting closer to God than I've ever been this year. I haven't slipped up at all with that. And, I'm just blessed and grateful. And I just want to be an example for everybody that's here. I want to show you guys what's possible when you work on yourself and you do what's required. So today we're going to jump into a very important training, which is the number one reason why people fail. Now, real quick, I want everybody to take a quick guess in the chat. What is the number one reason why people fail? Can anybody take a guess in the chat? Just throw something out there. What do you guys think the number one reason why people fail is? Okay. I want to see where is it? Where you guys are at. I see fear, consistency, procrastination, lack of desire, proper planning, belief in faith, discipline. They lose their discipline. Okay, no goals, lack of consistency, change of their mind. I haven't seen the answer yet, though. Okay, keep going. Let me see. Think. No routine. Yes, that's an option. And all of these answers are right, but there's one that makes the most sense. Okay, they don't believe, lack of action. Okay, this is the effect, but there's a cause. There's one, poor self-image. That's a good one. All right, they don't know what they want, self-identity, no consistent action, negative mental attitude, the why. These are all great answers, and these are all a reflection of this one thing that I'm thinking about right here. We don't think, no, yes. These are all right, by the way, but there's one specific one that I'm looking for, and no one has said it yet. Okay, they don't believe they can. Wow, no sé. No purpose. All that is fine. They don't want to win. No. So the number one reason, okay, and I need you guys to understand this. This is so important. The number one reason why people fail is because they don't have teachability index. Low teachability index is the reason why most people fail in life. Now, some of you guys may know what teachability index is. Some of you guys may not know what teachability index is, but you guys should have known this because understand no vision, self-image, all right? You think about everything you guys said, discipline, self-love, belief, mindset, all of this is all a reflection of low teachability index. And as I started to listen to Your Wish is Your Command again recently, I started listening to it again. I'm listening to it again like if it was my first time. And on audio number 3, he said the number one reason, and he did the same exercise. He's like, okay, what do you guys think is the reason why most people fail? And all of you guys had the right answer, but it wasn't the foundation of it. Self-image is the right answer. People being lazy is the right answer. Vision, discipline, consistency, not wanting to win, all of that, they're the right answers, but they're not the foundation of it. They're not the true cause. They're not the seed of it. The number one reason why people fail is because they have low teachability index. Now, let's talk about this because this is going to be the reason why you either fail this year or you win this year. Type win in the chat box if you want to win this year. If you want to win big this year, type win in the chat box, okay? Because if you want to win this year, you have to have a high teachability index this year. And it's important that you understand what I'm about to cover with you guys, because if you don't have a high teachability index, you will suffer this year. And if you're on this call and you already know this, then you're going to hear it again. And if you don't know this, then this training is going to absolutely blow your mind. And I need you to get very serious with what I'm about to cover on today's call, okay? Now, your teachability index is measured by two things. For my students that know, what's the first way to measure someone's teachability index, okay? What's the first way we measure someone's teachability index? Let's talk about this really quick. Yes, royalty. Number one is your willingness to learn. Willingness. All right? Your willingness. Let me see something right here. Your willingness to learn. All right? Now, if we look up the definition of willingness, I want you guys to write this down. The definition of willingness says it is the quality of being happy to do something if it's needed. The quality of being happy to do something if it is needed. All right. Another definition of willingness is to show that one is willing and eager to do what is needed. So, and another one that it says the quality or state of being prepared to do something or readiness. But the one that I like the most is the quality of being happy to do something if it's needed. All right. Now I'm going to copy and paste this here because I want to be able to look at this. Now, this is important. Now, I want you guys to stay with me here because when I did this training, I've listened to this maybe 1,000 times and it still hits me like if it was the first time. And it made me recognize a lot about myself as a leader and just as a student in general. All right. Your teachability index is probably the most important aspect of your life if you think about it, because your whole life you're going to spend learning. And if you think about it, you can't grow, you can't become better, you can't even grow a relationship with God if you don't have a high teachability index, because the first way to measure it is through your willingness to learn. So what is your willingness to learn on today's call? I want you to ask yourself, are you reading books every day? Are you listening to audios and podcasts every day? Are you investing into events and mentorship? Are you reading the Bible? Are you doing what's required on a day-to-day basis? Who do you follow on Instagram? Are you following a bunch of toxic content, or are you following a lot of positive, encouraging content? Are you willing to learn on a day-to-day basis? And this is something that we all got to be honest and real with ourselves. Because the willingness to learn, like I said again, is the quality of being happy to do something if it's needed. Do you wake up every day excited to read your book? Excited to listen to audios and podcasts? Are you happy to invest into events that are going to help you learn more? Are you happy to invest into mentorship so that you can get the proper guidance? Are you happy to do those things? Or are you complaining about doing those things? Or are you questioning doing those things? Or do you put those things aside? Because you feed your body every day, but the real question is, do you feed your mind every day? You see, because what you feed your mind every day are the seeds that are going to be planted in your mind that are then going to bloom and then are going to determine what you receive in life. So are you willing to do the learning? Nano, I love learning. That's what I love to do. So for example, every day I wake up, I read the Bible. You know, in order for you to build a closer relationship with God, okay, real quick, for my people who are putting God first right now this year and are looking to build that relationship with God this year, put a 1 in the chat box if right now that is one of your goals of the year. You want to grow that relationship. You want to get closer to him. You want to serve better. That's one of your goals for the year. You want to grow that relationship with God, right? So I see so many of us. We're all putting 1s in the chat. Okay. I just got my man's Bible. Nia, Natasha. I see Karina's in there. I see Sire. I see Mello. I see Dan. I see Danielle. I see Jose. I see Jojo. I see so many of you. I see Alina. I see Altagracia. I see Tay. I see Iman, Sophia. I see Mark Sanders. I see Myra. So if that's one of your goals in life, and that's one of your goals for this year, then remember, one of the main things you got to be willing to do is learn. And where is it the place that you go to learn about God more? The Word. You can't learn about God if you're not reading the Word. So if you're someone on this call that, for example, your goal is to build a closer relationship with God, but you are not reading the Word, then you have a low teachability index because you're not willing to learn. You're not willing to read more about the Word. And let me tell you guys, I used to be like that. I was the person that talked about God. I was the person that believed in God, but I had never read the Word. I didn't, truth be told. I honestly didn't start reading the Word till 2023. That was 2 years ago. So don't feel bad if you're on this call and this is hitting you and you're like, damn, man, I feel that, because I just started reading it 2 years ago. And that's the truth. That's the God honest truth. I just started reading it 2 years ago. And you know what my excuses were? I don't know where to start. I don't know what Bible to read. This, that. And I got to give a huge shout out to my sister. She's not on this call, but she bought me this Bible. And basically what this Bible is a regular Bible, but it explains everything for you. As a matter of fact, let me just grab it real quick. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So look at this. So it's called Every Man's Bible. Now, the beauty of this Bible is this, right? So for example, okay, what it does is, so look, I just started reading Proverbs, right? So when I started reading Proverbs, it tells you everything about the book, right? So It's not just your traditional Bible, it explains it, right? So, for example, what's this book about? Wisdom based on trusting God. And then it talks about, who wrote it, when did it happen, where does this book fit? It does the breakdown, key concepts, Bible verses worth memorizing. It lets you know how long it's going to take you to read it. And there's also, yes, and there's also every woman's Bible as well. Now, here's the beauty of it as well. At the bottom, I don't know if you guys can see that, it explains the Bible verses. Okay, it explains them. So for me, the mistake I used to make was I don't understand the words in the Bible like this. This vocabulary is difficult for me. So this for me was a game changer because I would read a verse and I would be like, bro, I don't understand this stuff. So I didn't like to read things that I didn't understand. But this right here helps explain all the quotes within it. So I'll read something and it'll be like, this is what it means. This is, for example, this morning I read something. I didn't even understand it. And thank God at the bottom of it, it made sense. So for example, it said this, right? Listen to this. This is crazy. And this one here, I even sent it to one of my brothers. This is the Proverbs. It was Proverbs. It was also talking about finding the right wife, which is pretty cool. It was Proverbs chapter 23, verse 22 and 23, right? No, 17 and 18. So here it goes. He says, do not let your heart envy sinners, but always be zealous for the fear of the Lord. There's surely a future hope for you, and your hope will not be cut off. So I read this and I'm like, I don't really I see it a little bit, but I didn't get like the full grasp of what he was trying to tell me there. I'm going to repeat it again. Do not let your heart envy sinners, but always be zealous for the fear of the Lord. So listen to this. There is surely future hope for you, and your hope will not be cut off. But then what happens is in the bottom, it explained it, and then it made sense. So listen to the explanation to that. It says, we often look with envy at people who indulge themselves in sinful pleasures. Such people do whatever they choose without regard for how their actions can affect others. In the short term, they have an easy and pleasurable life, while those who live righteously have it harder initially. But in the eternal perspective, those who follow God will receive greater blessings, and those who live only for themselves will face judgment. Now, that makes sense to me. When I read it, it didn't make sense. I'm like, zealous, envy this, envy sinners, but it makes sense now. This was something that I used to do. I used to envy, I wouldn't say envy, but I would feel some type of way about people that did the wrong things and still lived a good life. People that did things that didn't really align with the right way to do it. But, we all know people that are not living their lives the way that they're supposed to be living it, but still get everything that they want. You ever seen that with other people that, for example, they sin, they drink every day, they do all the drugs, everything you could ever imagine, and still live the most amazing life. And you're looking at them and you're like, damn, bro, like I would like to live like that too. But that's what he's saying here. That's what he said in the word. It said, we often look with envy at people who indulge themselves in sinful pleasures. Such people do whatever they choose without regard for how their actions may affect others. In the short term, this is what he said. In the short term, those who live righteously have it harder. So us that want to do things the right way, we have it harder. We have it harder. And I used to always say that to my brothers and to people around me, because, I've had people around me that said, yo, bro, we could be making so much money if we go do it this way. But I'm like, bro, that's not the right way to do it. I don't want to scam people. I don't want to take advantage of people, bro. If I'm going to do it, I want to do it the right way. You don't know how many times the devil has come and told me, hey, look at this way that we can make money here. Yo, Nano, here it is. And I would always tell them, bro, I can't. I can't. I want to do it the right way. It's not going to fit right with my heart if I have to take advantage of somebody else for my gain. And believe it or not, there's a lot of people on the internet that do that. A lot of the people that you see, and I'll say it with all the love and the respect, and it's not everybody, but there's a lot of people out there that we see on Instagram with a lot of followers, with the cars, the clothes, the jewelry, and all this stuff, that a lot of the things that people, glorify, that they got that money and they got that success that you see through taking advantage and doing things not the right way. If whether you believe it or not, trust me, I know, because I know these people. Okay. And that's what he's saying. In the short term, they have an easy and pleasurable life, while those who live righteously have it harder. But in the internal perspective, those who follow God receive the greater blessings, and those who live only for themselves will face judgment. So, and it's not, and remember, this call is not about me doing a Bible study here. What the reason why I wanted to show you guys this is because I know that there's people that are on this call right now that you probably had the same perspective that I had, which is, I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to read. Boom, 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 boom. I need a better understanding. If you're that person, I recommend this Bible to you. It's called, they have it for women and they have it for men. All right. They have it for women and they have it for men. Every woman's Bible, every man's Bible. It is a $40 Bible. I'm letting you guys know ahead of time. You're going to pay $40, $50 for it. But honestly, it is worth every single dollar. You can get it on Amazon. Okay. This is so key. But it goes back to what I'm saying. Because I was willing to learn, it changed everything for me. I'm reading this and it's changing me. Every day that I'm reading it, I'm like, yo, not only is it changing me, but it's making me aware of how unrighteous I was living my life before. It made me realize so much about myself and the reason why I have faced judgment and the reason why I've been held accountable and I've been disciplined. Because sometimes we're wondering like, yo, damn, why are these things happening to me? You know why those things were happening to me? Because you weren't living right. You weren't living right. So it caught up to you. He said it, yo, those who don't live righteously, they will face judgment. So some of the struggles that we go through in life is because you're facing judgment for the things that you didn't live by the word. And now I'm realizing that I'm like, sheesh. It kind of hits you like a ton of bricks. It would hit you like a ton of bricks. I promise you it will. It literally will. And there's no way around it. So you got to become aware of these things. You got to have that willingness to learn. I've been telling you guys, yo, this year, there's not a war. It's not a physical war. It's a spiritual war. You're not going to be able to fight these battles alone. You're not going to be able to fight these battles alone. You're going to have, God by your side. You have to. These battles are way too big for you to battle them alone. Right now, I feel protected. I feel equipped. I feel strong. I feel blessed. I feel incredible. Because every day I feel better. More prayer, more gratitude. I haven't missed church on Sunday. I'm reading every single day. Every day I'm reading my book. Every day I'm listening to my audios. Right now, my willingness to learn is at a 10. My willingness to learn right now is at a 10. It is. It really is. And you know what's another side to the willingness to learn that a lot of people don't really talk about is what you're willing to sacrifice to learn. What are you willing to sacrifice to learn? I was a big music guy. I love listening to music. Are you willing to sacrifice music for a month to listen to podcasts and audios instead? Are you willing to sacrifice your favorite Netflix show so that you can spend more time studying? Are you willing to sacrifice time on the weekends away from your friends and your family to spend more time learning? That determines your willingness to learn. That's important. I sacrifice, drinking and smoking this month so that what? I can spend more time in clarity of mind. And even though I'm not a big drinker or smoker or anything like that, okay, I had to prioritize the sacrifice. I said, yo, I'm willing to sacrifice this. I'm willing to sacrifice this. I don't want to drink. I don't want to smoke anything. No weed, no hookah, nothing. Nothing. I want to cleanse my body of anything that will cloud my judgment. That's a good one right there. I want to cleanse my body of anything that will cloud my judgment. And that's what I did. And guess what? I'm thinking much more clearer. The vibrations I'm putting out are a lot more clearer. Okay. My body isn't filled with poison. Not saying that I'm not going to do it at all. I'm sure I'll have a little glass of wine at some point throughout the year. Okay. I'm sure we'll have some casual things that'll happen throughout the year. But am I going to do it every single day? And no chance. But I'm cleansing myself. I'm putting myself in that vibration. I'm willing to sacrifice to learn and understand what's required from me as a leader and as a soon-to-be father and husband and all these things that I want to be in the future. I have to be willing to do those things now. Okay, all those things are going to happen now. So I have to be willing to sacrifice those things. And that's important for all of you guys to understand. You got to be willing to learn. Everybody here's willingness to learn should be a 10. Okay. Yeah, but not yet though, bro. Soon. Maybe in like 3 years. 10. Everybody should be at a 10 when it comes to willingness to learn. But here's the thing though. Here's the thing. Now, before we get into that, what is your willingness to learn on a scale of 1 to 10? And before you answer the question, right? Your willingness to learn is the only way you can say you have a 10 is if you're reading every day, you're studying every day, you're listening to more audios than you listen to, music, you're investing into events, you're doing everything that's required, you're reading the word, so on and so forth. What is your willingness to learn on a scale of 1 to 10? Let me know in the chat box. And are you making the necessary sacrifices as well? Truth be told, I got some 10s, I got some 7s, some 8s, 7s, 8s, a lot of 8s, 7s. I got some 10s, I got some 9s. Okay. 10s. I love it. 9.5s, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now, remember that number. Stay right there. Let me ask you guys a question real quick. If I were to multiply the number that you have by 0, what do you get? If I were to multiply 7 by 0, 8 by 0, 10 by 0, what do I get? I get 0, right? So now let's talk about the second part to your teachability index. The second part to your teachability index is your willingness to accept change. Now, this is where most people fail right here. This is where everything changes now. Because people have willingness to learn. People have the willingness to learn. But are people willing to change? Are people willing to apply the knowledge that they learned? Because knowledge is not power, applied knowledge is. So you could read all the books, you could read the Bible all you want, you could listen to all the podcasts and all the audios, and you could do all these things, which is great. But if you don't change, nothing matters. What's the purpose of reading all the books, going to all the events, listening to all these audios, reading the Bible, going to church, investing into mentorship, if you don't apply what you learned? Again, knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is. To know and to not do is to not know at all. So it doesn't matter that you know. If you don't do, you really don't know. So if you know you got to be waking up and doing a routine every day and you're not doing a routine, you have a low willingness to accept change. If you know you got to be reading every day and you're not reading every day, you have a low willingness to accept change. You can't stay the same person and expect things to change for you. In order for things to change for you, you have to change. If you're on this call and hey, yo, Nano, you know what? You said something earlier that really hit me. You said I got to be listening to more audios and more podcasts than I listen to music. And if you get off this call and you spend the rest of the week listening to more music than audios and podcasts, you have a low willingness to accept change. And that's why you will always have the results that you have, because you always keep doing what you keep doing. You have to be the person that says, yo, you know what? You're right. I listen to more music than I listen to podcasts and audios. I'm going to dedicate the rest of the rest of January and the rest of February to more podcasts and more audios. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let me listen to more. I'm going to make sure that I've read at least 1 or 2 books by the end of February. I'm going to make sure I follow a morning routine. I'm going to make sure I get myself in the gym. I'm going to read the word and I'm going to follow the word. I'm not just going to read it. I'm going to follow what it says. I can't just read all of this, what it's saying to me, and then not follow it. I can't just read the thing that I just read to you guys out loud and then go and try to scam somebody for some money and do things unrighteously. Like, that's not the right way to do things. Okay, I got to be paying attention to what I'm learning, and I need to be applying this information on a day-to-day basis. Because if you don't have a high willingness to accept change, then you will stay the same. I always tell people, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always had. You have to change. Some of us got to sacrifice sleep. In 2024, I was waking up at 8, 9 a.m. every day for the most part. 8, 9 a.m. Starting 2025, you know what I said? I'm sacrificing sleep. That's it. Now I'm back to waking up at 6 a.m. I'm one of the first people in my leadership chat within my group that wakes up. I'm up at 6 a.m. every day now. So I sacrifice 2 hours of sleep to do what? To learn. Look at how that works. What think about it. I would usually wake up around 8, 9 o'clock. Now I'm waking up at 6 o'clock. Just to wake up earlier so I can spend more time working on me. You know what that's called? Sacrifice. The willingness to learn. That's called willingness. I'm willing to learn. I wake up happy. I'm like, I don't know if you guys saw my post the other day, but I wake up happy and excited to read Proverbs and to do my morning routine and to do what I'm required to do. I wake up excited. We said it earlier. What was willingness? Willingness, the quality of being happy to do something if it's needed. I'm happy to wake up and read the word. I wake up excited. I'm like, yo, what am I going to learn today in Proverbs? I'm so excited. I've been learning so much from it. I want to learn today about self-image. You know what's funny? Today, I also learned about happiness and self-image. I learned so much this morning. Back then, because I wasn't willing to sacrifice, then sometimes I would start my routine late. I was doing half-assed routines. I wasn't finishing it. If you would open up my YouTube, it was just a bunch of music playing. Now you open up my YouTube, it's just a bunch of audios and podcasts and visualizations playing. My willingness to learn and accept change completely transformed. And notice how, because I was willing to learn so much and because I've been willing to change so much, notice how everything is now changing around me. And you know how long it took? It only took 21 days. It only took 21 days of me making it a priority to wake up and learn and to wake up and be willing to change myself. I was willing to change. I had to change a full routine to start the year. I appreciate that, Gina. I had to change. I had to change everything because I caught myself being comfortable. I was like, Nano, why are you comfortable, bro? You're not where you want to be at. You haven't bought your mom and dad that house that you promised them yet. You don't have $1 million in the bank liquid yet. What are you comfortable with, bro? Why are you waking up at 8, 9 a.m. like if you've done something? What? Why? I had to have that conversation with myself to the point where I even had to cut off my curls. I'm like, yo, forget the curls. Go back to the version of you where you were in that hungry season that nobody could take you out of it. Cut off the curls, went back to the old haircut back in 2018 when I was broke living at my parents' house. But when I had this haircut was when I was the hungriest. That's why I tapped back into that. I was like, yo, that's it, bro. Like, it's time. And a lot of you on this call, you need to have that same exact moment with yourself, that same exact conversation. Why are you comfortable? Are you making the money that you want to make? Are your kids in the schools that you really want them to be at? Are you living where you really want to live? Are you driving the car you really want to drive? Are you really expressing yourself how you really want to express yourself? Or do you have the body that you want? I'm looking at myself in the mirror now and I'm like, damn, you look good, bro. You look strong. Them shoulders are getting better. This is an oversized shirt, whatever. But, I take my shirt off now and I'm like, I like what I'm seeing, bro. I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm seeing. I'm gaining more confidence. I'm gaining more belief. Every day, my mind is more clear. I've been journaling every single day. I've been reading every single day. Okay. I'm doing everything on a day-to-day basis. I'm doing a night routine almost. I've done it not every day, but I've done it almost every single day. I got back into that vision, into that willingness to learn. I was like, yo, I was spending way too much time distracted with social media, with Netflix, doing this, doing that. And I was just, the time was being stolen right from my hands when I could have been spending so much more of that time doing things that were productive, doing things that were going to actually help me grow and become better and help me change into the version of myself that I knew I could become. Have these conversations with you. What is your willingness to change? On a scale of 1 to 10, guys, what is your willingness to change? And change, and if you're going to say 10, that means that you apply everything that you learn. Do you apply everything that you learn? My willingness to change, I give it an 8 right now where I'm at. And I might be able to give myself a 9 because I've been on point this year. But I'm gonna give myself an 8 because I know I can apply a couple more things. There's a couple things I've slipped up on. So I'm gonna give myself an 8 there. All right. I'll give myself an 8. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your willingness to accept change? I want to see where you guys are at. Now, remember, I asked you guys to remember the first number, which was your willingness to learn. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to multiply your willingness to learn by your willingness to accept change. And I want you to type it in the chat box. Let me know. Your willingness to accept change, willingness to learn, multiplied by your willingness to accept change. What is the number do you get? Let me know in the chat. And be honest. Throw the number out there. And if you want to keep it to yourself, then that's fine. You can keep it to yourself. But just remember the number. The number is important that you remember. Okay. I see some 60s. I see 56. I see 72. I see 90, 56, 63, 64, 28. Okay. Now, let me tell you something. If you are below a 70, you are failing. Anything below 70 is failing. It needs work. It needs work. And if you stay at this exact same level, you will not have the year that you want to have this year. And I say that because I love y'all. I say that because I love y'all. This is a wake-up call for some of you. If you are below a 70, you are failing. You have a low teachability index. And even 70 is barely passing. What you want to do is you want to be above an 80 and above. 80 and above is great results. 70 and below, you're failing. That's barely average. You got to work on that. When I first did this test, and let me tell you guys the truth, so I don't want you guys to think that, oh, Nano, it's easy for you to say you don't understand my situation. When I first did this test, you know what I scored? I scored a 40 when I first did this test because my willingness to learn was an 8, but my willingness to accept change was a 5. Okay? I had a willingness to learn of an 8, but my willingness to accept change was a 5. And I scored a 40 the first time because I was scared to change. I was scared to start applying things. I would be the person that said, I'm going to start going to the gym, and I wouldn't go. I would say, I'm going to start reading a book, and I wouldn't read it. My willingness to change was not good. And that's the one that destroys you. You want to have a good year this year? You got to get your willingness to learn at a 10, and you got to get your willingness to accept change to minimum an 8. Minimum an 8. That means that you got to apply majority of what you learn. You got to strive to really apply majority of what you need to, a majority of what you know is going to help you. I'm telling you guys this because I love y'all. I see a lot of failing grades in the chat. And I know there's a lot of people who didn't participate that also have a lot of failing grades. And that's okay because that when I had a 40 teachability index, my income was through the floor. I didn't have the results that I wanted. I was living with challenges after challenges, struggle after. Listen to me, guys. Your teachability index, just by your teachability index, I could tell you what your situation in life is. Just by your teachability index, I could tell you a lot about what's going on in your life without even knowing you. I could tell you a lot. I could even probably guess your bank account. And that's with all the love and with all the respect in the world. It's because there is characteristics of the people that have low teachability index. You got to get it up. You have to make it a priority to let this year be the year that wakes you up. And what's up? This has to be the year where you wake up and you say, you know what, Nano? You were right, bro. My willingness to learn is not that high, and my willingness to accept change is not that high. And look, let me tell y'all also something right here. Even some of the people that scored above a 70, I know some of you guys are not really those numbers too. I know some of you guys are giving yourself an extra point or two when in reality, you know you don't deserve that extra point or two. Low key, deep down, you know you don't deserve those extra point or two. So majority of us probably are failing for real, for real. Call it what it is. We need to wake up, and we can't stop playing. Because look, think about it. Even if you score a 9, willingness to learn, and you score an 8, willingness to accept change, you're still almost close to failing because that's only what, 72? 9 times 8, 72. Correct me if I'm wrong. Think about that. Just think about that. You got to make sure that this year, remember, this is the number one reason why people fail. Low teachability index. And the thing is, what ends up happening too is this happens to people like myself. You get to certain levels and your teachability index goes down because you stop seeking mentorship. That happened to me. My teachability index went down when I started making 6 figures. Oh, now I'm making money now. I'm making $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month. You know, I stopped reading books. I stopped jumping on calls. You know, I thought that I had it all figured out. I'm on top of the world. I'm making money. You know what God did? Give me that. You don't deserve that. I gave it to you, and you started thinking that you had it all figured out. Now I'm gonna take it from you. Get back to work. It happens, bro. You think it's only y'all that go through shit? Sorry for my language. You think it's only y'all? Bro, I've dealt with that stuff as well. You gotta always stay humble, bro. Stay humble and always a student, no matter what. Always stay humble, no matter what. This is so important what I'm sharing with you guys. It's life-changing. If applied, if you're paying attention, if you're willing to accept what I'm saying, if you're willing to stay here and you're willing to be like, you know what, Nano, I accept this, bro. Real quick, if you accept this, type it in the chat. Nano, I accept. I just want you to type, I accept. If you accept this, right, I accept. Because if you accept this, and this means that you're going to be willing to apply this information. You're going to be willing to say, you know what, moving forward, I'm going to read more. I'm going to listen to more audios. I'm going to do what's required. I'm going to make the necessary sacrifices. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to stop hanging out with these types of people. I'm going to read more. I'm going to study more. I'm going to buy this Bible. I'm going to do what's required. I'm going to get my willingness to learn to a 10. But not only am I going to get my willingness to learn to a 10, I'm going to get my willingness to accept change to a 10. That's what I'm working towards. I got to get myself to 100 teachability index and then stay there. Right now, I'm 10.8. I'm at an 80. And this is me being hard on myself. But I know I've changed a lot. I went from reading the Bible once or twice a month to reading it every day. I went from journaling once or twice a month to journaling every day almost. I went from not reading to almost reading every day. I went from listening to music every day to only listening to audios. So my willingness to accept change has increased incredibly. I went from posting, 2 to 3 times a month to posting. I've posted more in this month than I posted in the last 6 months of 2024. Everything. I've completely changed. I've completely changed. And remember, I will never tell y'all to do something that I'm not doing. That's the reason why I'm leading by example. So that you guys can see, yo, damn, Nano said this and he's doing this. I'm not just teaching it, I'm showing it. Because people do what you do, not what you say. People are going to do what you do, not what you say. So it's important that I lead by example. But remember, yes, I'm a leader, but you're a leader too. You got people watching you, and you got people that are looking for you to lead. All of us are leaders. We're leaders in our relationships. We're leaders in our household. We're leaders to our little brothers, little sisters. We're leaders to our kids. We're leaders, we're leaders in schools. We're leaders in all areas of our lives, believe it or not. Every single one of you guys on this call is a leader to one aspect or another. And somebody's watching you to be the example. Be a good leader. Lead by example. Like God says, be the example that you want to see in the rest of the world. All right, guys. So with that being said, that wraps up today's training. You want to have the best year of your life? Get your teachability index to 10 and 10. Get it to 100 this year. Get your willingness to learn to a 10. Get your willingness to accept change to a 10. No ifs, ands, or but. That's the standard. 100 teachability index for the whole family. If you guys got value from today's call, put 100 in the chat box. If you guys got some value from today's training. With that being said, I love all of you. I appreciate the hundreds that jumped on today's call. I appreciate everybody on IG as well. I pray that you guys all have a beautiful rest of your days. Let's continue to grow. Let's continue to elevate. I want everybody to win this year. The only way it's going to happen is by you getting your teachability index to 100 this year. Be willing to learn, be willing to invest back into yourself, make all the sacrifices necessary. Sacrifice the drugs, sacrifice the drinking, sacrifice the friends, love you more, sacrifice it all. Sacrifice it all to get your teachability index to where it needs to be, and watch the success that's going to come this year when you get your teachability index to 100. Maddie said, Mom, where can I take that test? You take it yourself. It's a personal test. You rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. It's not really something that you take. All right, guys. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I pray you guys have a beautiful day. Let's go out there and have a successful week. And I'll see you guys on Thursday for another great episode. A little quick prayer, and then I'll wrap it up right there. A little prayer for all of us before we go. Everybody bow their heads, close your eyes, and let's pray. Father God, we just want to say thank you so much for blessing us with this beautiful and abundant day that we get a chance to learn and we get a chance to become better versions of ourselves. We want to thank you for our health. We want to thank you for your protection, for your guidance, for your wisdom, and all the amazing work that you're doing for us. You're truly working overtime for us right now, and we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I speak on behalf of this whole entire community. We are committed to becoming the best versions of ourselves and being the example that we want to see in the rest of the world. Continue to work through us. Continue to give us the strength to show up even on the days that we don't want to. I know it's a journey. I know it's filled with challenges, but we understand that everything is happening for us, not to us. So we thank you for everything, God. We love you so much and we appreciate you so much. Everything that we're doing is for your glory, for your praise, and for your honor. We love you. Let's have a great day. In God's name we pray. Amen. 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 All right, guys. So with that being said, have a beautiful day. I love all of y'all. I got so much love for all of y'all. And remember, everything that I'm telling you guys, I need to hear it too. So I'm not just here, telling you guys these things because y'all the only ones that need to hear it. I need to hear it myself. These trainings are as much for me as they are for you. And when I'm hard on you, it's because I'm hard on myself, and it's because I love you guys. Tough love is usually the best love. So let's go out there. This is the biggest year of our lives, but in order for it to be the biggest year of our lives, we got to have 100 teachability index, and that's going to be the only way. Love y'all. See y'all Thursdays. Let's keep running. Love you guys, fam. Let's